Alright, so for those of you just tuning in, we're about to jump straight into Game 3 in the ZeroEmpires Invitational Tournament series between Milmano and Nico. This is part of Round 2, of course. This is Game 3. It is going to be a replay commentary, so if you haven't seen Game 1 and Game 2, and if you're watching it on YouTube, then make sure that you check out Game 1 and Game 2 first. Game 1 especially was a very, very close game between the two players, so only very curious to see which player will come out on top in this series. Really hard to tell at this point. Will we have another Game 2, or will we have another Game 1? Either way, this is going to be Round 2, a best-of-3 series between Round 2, yeah, I said Round 2, right? Between Milmano and Nico. They're both like 2K rated plus players on Aoe2 HD, so quite skilled indeed. And I expect to see some very high-quality matches. Game 3, though, is going to be a match on Arabia, where both players are going to pick the mirror civs option, and then that means that they're going to get, both of them are going to random the same civilization, so no idea what they're going to be here. And of course, I went out of my way to avoid spoilers for this series, as well as really all the other matches in the ZeroEmpires Invitational Round 2 and beyond, so we can avoid posting any spoilers in the Twitch chat. I'd really appreciate it. So far, I have no idea who's going to win this series, and I like to keep it that way. I think it keeps it a little bit more interesting. Alright, so we're going to jump straight into Game 3 relatively shortly. If you want to avoid spoilers, now I suggest you click away and watch Game 1 and Game 2 first, because I'm going to update the scoreboard now. And the game shall begin shortly. Who's going to come out on top here? That is the question. A pretty odd question, but maybe someday. Alright, let's get this show on the road. Game 3, Milmano versus Nico, a mirror civs game on Arabia. Okay, so alright, both players here have random the Italians, which, if you guys remember, are the civs that they had in Game 1. So we're going to see yet another Italians war. And if this game is as close as Game 1 is, then we can see that both players are clearly very evenly matched on the Italians and on land maps, so expect to see a really high-quality game here. Of course, it's one apiece so far. We'll see what both players opt for. Definitely going to be a good match, at least I hope so. Game 2 was not very close, not very close. You know, it just goes to show how important taking control of the water-on-water maps can really be, and how tiny mistakes can really snowball the game. These 1v1s, especially, you know, the higher rated and the more experienced you are, little mistakes really add up over time. It's the incremental advantages that can really decide these games, so gotta keep your eyes peeled. You know, losing a couple archers or something like that in the early game can actually snowball the game in your opponent's favor, and even lose you the game outright. Alright, so let's take a look at both players' maps here. It's definitely a decent way to start it out. There's not really too much variation between the two players. Like, the early build order is going to be basically the same, and if you need any help with your build order, I've got a handful of tutorials on my YouTube page, which you're more than welcome to check out if you'd like. But we're not really going to see any variation until, you know, the lumber camps start coming down and we see how many villagers they put on them. But both players are going to go with the 6 on sheep, and then that's when the variation will start a little bit after that. If we look at the maps, we'll see that Milmano actually has a pretty good back gold and back stone. They're, you know, behind his base, which makes it a little bit harder for Nico to do some raiding. You know, Nico's gonna have to walk a further distance. Actually, Milmano has, like, almost all of his golds in the back, and even this gold is somewhat easily defensible. Like, this is an area that can definitely be walled off. Whereas Nico's map generation isn't quite as good. His stone is at the front of his base, both of his stones are. This gold is a little bit harder to defend, but, you know, still defensible. Both players have their main gold in the back, so I don't think that this game is going to be really short, per se. If the resources are in unfavorable situations for one player, then really, whoever gets zoned off their gold, if their gold's at the front, it can be game at that point, but both players have a map that's actually somewhat possible to wall off. I think Milmano has overall just a far superior map. I think his map is incredibly easy to wall off. Nico's map, you know, this is a huge open area that's going to be a massive pain in the ass to wall. This gold is actually really safe, so that's nice, because he can just, you know, palisade off this area or just put some buildings over here, but it's really far from his TC. You know, Milmano can just wall from here to here, he can wall from there to there, there to there, and it's pretty much golden. And with all of his resources in the back, I expect Milmano to play a little bit more defensively than Nico, but we'll see. Okay, another bit of variation, I guess, something interesting to talk about here, is that Nico has opted to not get Loom, whereas Milmano has decided to get Loom before he hunted his boar. He's also decided to hunt his boar a little bit sooner than Nico. That itself doesn't matter as much, but you know, because Milmano decided to get Loom before Nico did, Nico still doesn't have Loom yet. Nico has a solid 1 population lead, as we can see, 15 population to 14 population. Nico has 1 extra villager that Milmano doesn't have, and that means that Milmano has a really tiny economy disadvantage here. Nico will get really tiny incremental resource lead over Milmano here. And, oh god, wait. Looks like Nico has found actually both of Milmano's sheep here, and he's gonna get to steal those for free. I'm really curious to see how Milmano did not scout that, because Nico's scouting appears to be spot on, but as we've seen in a really unfortunate trend in all 3 games so far, is that Milmano's scouting is a little bit lackluster here, as he did not find his, really, he only found 4 sheep, and that leaves him with 1 sheep left at like 6 minutes in, and Nico now has all of those sheep at his disposal. So many sheep. And, well, the scouting discrepancy right here, that's giving them a big, Nico has a big score lead over here that's really inflated. Like, Nico has like a 1 villager lead, but that doesn't equal a 100-point lead here. Right now, the 100-point lead is from the scouting, so that might not matter that much, but in this case it really did, because I guess Milmano lost 4 of his sheep, and that's a lot of food resources down the drain. Also, Milmano, I guess, is being a little bit more efficient with his board than Nico is, per se, because Milmano is making sure to not harvest from any sheep while harvesting from his boar. During the first boar lure, Nico was harvesting from both a sheep and a boar, and while that doesn't really matter that much, is it does save just a teeny bit of food, because you only have 1 animal decaying over time. But, I mean, really, the sheep lead for Nico is pretty huge here. Both players here are really skillfully doing some really good deer lures here. You know, as you can see right here, is that deer will naturally run away from, you know, whatever units that you have, and you can use that to sort of push them towards your town center. This is important because, you know, if you're harvesting from deer all the way over here, your villagers are going to have to walk a absurd distance all the way from the deer to the town center, and that's just super duper inefficient, whereas, you know, the distance that they have to walk to drop food off from here to here is a lot shorter, and it saves a lot of time, and like I said, the little differences add up, and they make a huge difference. However, Milmano here is actually housed, and he's been housed forever, and it looks like he has decided, fuck it, we'll do it live. That was completely intentional, and he's gonna go up with 19 population to the feudal age. Which is pretty risky. 19 pop is definitely not standard, but that means he will get to the feudal age well before Nico does. So that's what I'm talking about. This is all about the strategically planned wheelbarrow, town watch, and all that stuff, you know. Oh, I meant to get housed. I just wanted to get wheelbarrow. It's all planned, guys. There's no such thing as mistakes. Nobody makes mistakes. Milmano, though, is going to be putting down a barracks here, which makes sense. You see got a lot of guys on wood. He's getting ready to go for some feudal age aggression. I expect both players to go for some feudal age aggression, because, you know, on a map like Arabia, it's super difficult to wall up, especially if you're Nico. His map is not very good. He might have gold at the back, which is somewhat easily defensible, but his map is really open, whereas Milmano's is, well, about as closed and honestly, like, as good as he could ask for. It is pretty good. His berries are at the front, but can't have everything in the back, I guess. It can be really risky to go for, like, a fast castle age or some strategy that leaves you defenseless in the early game. So it's really common that you'll see players on maps like Arabia to go for some feudal age aggression. Or if they do want to go for a fast castle age, you which again will leave you defenseless until about like 16 minutes in when you hit the Castle Age. His players will go for either like a Drush in the Dark Age. They'll plop out some militia to try and harass the opponent, keep him distracted, contained in his base while you go for a fast Castle Age. Or you'll see players go for some sort of Feudal Age aggression. Take advantage of the fact that this map is so difficult to wall up and punish your opponents if they decide to be greedy and perhaps make a very unfortunate decision like going for fast Castle Age. And this deer lure is going to be a little bit sloppy here, but it doesn't make a big difference. Either way, Nico has like a 2-villager lead at this point because Milmano got housed and decided to go for a slightly faster Feudal Age. And combined with the fact that Nico got his loom just a little bit later than Milmano did means that, well, the lead is adding up for Nico here. And of course the scouting is, well, not that great for Milmano this game. He has not actually found Nico yet. And it looks like both players here, they've plopped down their staples, they're going for a scout rush. Nico here gets housed because that's what all the cool kids are doing in this game, but the advantage still lies with him. Most importantly, because he knows where Milmano is. Milmano still does not know where Nico is, and scout rush is not so good if you don't know where your opponent is. He's going to send a forward spearman here, I think. That's what it looks like he's doing, and he's going to try and get some scouting here. This is not actually completely walled off. Not sure if that's intentional, but he might just be leaving that gap there so he can let his scouts get through a little bit easier. We're going to see the Scout Rush versus Scout Rush in action. We'll see which player has the better micro here. I think the Scout Rush, though, definitely favors Milmano over Nico because, Nico's map is so open, and that'll allow Milmano to get into this wood line a lot easier, and Milmano gets housed yet again, so everybody, take a shot. He does get to do some, free damage, I guess, to one of these scouts here with the Spearman, which is quite nice. When dealing with the Scout Rush, a couple things are important to keep in mind. One, scouting is really important. Really, this is just important in general, but if you know what your opponent is doing, then you'll actually be able to stop them and counter them appropriately. By scouting your opponent, then, you can react. But, Milmano just scouted this stable here, which is super duper late, whereas Nico is also housed. All the cool kids are getting housed this game, my goodness. I guess both players are exhausted from game 1, and they're both forgetting to build houses. But yeah, scouting is important. If you know your opponent's going for a scout rush, you can plop out some spearmen in advance and just really deal with that. So spearmen are important to get rid of the opponent's scouts. Spearmen can kill scouts in like basically 3 hits, so they're a very effective counter. Usually you'll see players put a couple spearmen, they'll station them next to their like lumber camp, gold mines, forward bushes, all their vulnerable points, as we see. Spearman is right here to protect these wood lines, but actually Milmano's going to do some really good damage here. Zone these villagers off that archer range, prevent it from going up. Milmano here has a lot of spearmen though, he's got like 3. And he's going to kill 1 scout here for free, which is pretty good, and he doesn't really get to do anything with these scouts, unfortunately. He's going to have to run them away, and Milmano's going to retreat as well after taking, actually no town center fire whatsoever. Still delaying the archer range from coming up. I expect to see some spearmen coming up from Nico, or maybe he'll pull this one over here, which looks like that's what he is doing right about now. And, well, both players didn't really get to accomplish very much with their scout rush, which is unfortunate. That's going to slow down both players' Castle Age timings. Alright, Nico's pulling his scouts back, but this favors Milmano in this particular case. He got to really delay these archer ranges, and Milmano's archer range is coming up maybe like even a solid minute before Nico's does, so he'll be able to get a small advantage in the amount of archers he's going to be able to pump out. And oh god, Nico gets housed again! Let's see if, alright, Milmano, though, seems to be on track of things, and it looks like he's not going to get housed again in the meantime. So, since both players have realized that their scout rush was essentially a flop and didn't really get to do anything, they're going to start transitioning into archers. Why is this a good idea, you might be wondering? Well, you see, the goal here is to not be stuck in the Feudal Age forever. You can't really kill anybody in the Feudal Age, you can't close a game out in the Feudal Age. Like, you're going to need a lot of scouts to be able to blow up a town center. A lot of spearmen, men-at-arms, or especially archers, right? So, you don't want to stay in the Feudal Age forever. It's all about trying to establish an advantage over your opponent in this situation, get some map control, but you can't end the game there, so you don't want to stay in the Feudal Age forever, and if your opponent gets to the Castle Age first, well, a knight is so much more powerful than really anything the Feudal Age has to offer. So you don't want to stay in the fuel age forever. So you're gonna need to start stockpiling food, and scouts cost a ton of food. That's why you won't really often see players going for like skirmishers or you know, like lots of spearmen or scouts and whatnot in the feudal age. A prolonged feudal war can really slow you down. But archers don't cost food. They only cost wood and gold, and well, the most important part of the castle age is the food cost. So being able to stockpile all that extra food will allow you to get to the castle age, and that's why you'll see many players going for archers there. They're trying to be conservative. I don't really like that Nico's scouts here aren't idle, though. He definitely could be doing something with them, maybe, you know, scouting out Milmano's base, but Milmano has intelligently stationed his spearmen quite spread out around his entire base, and that is basically keep them safe. Milmano hasn't really got to do too much with his scouts either. You see the spearmen coming in from Nico, and that should basically force Milmano to pull back. I do like, though, that Milmano has thrown in a couple of skirmishers with his archers. While that will slow down his castle age a little bit. Wow, he has a ton of food, good lord. His economy, I guess, is not quite as well balanced as Nico's, or you could argue that Milmano's is better balanced, because all this wood isn't really that useful. But yeah, that'll give him a really big edge in these, you know, these big archer fights that typically happen in the feudal age when we get two big groups of archers firing at each other. Having a couple skirmishers gives you a big edge, and Milmano's swinging in here with his scouts. He's gonna actually take out a villager for free, and oh, he's decided to actually engage upon these archers, and hopefully he'll get out of there before the spearman gets to do anything, but ooh! Spearman gets to snipe Milmano's scout there, and he's got to run away, so really, I would say that's worth it, though. Like, players are more than happy to take trades, trading their feudal age units for a villager here and there. Because the feudal age is, again, all about establishing an eco-lead, map control, etc., and that accomplishes that. These villagers are still, presumably, huffing a lot of paint and just standing around. Not really doing too much, but he's gonna... Nico has noticed that his villagers are on strike, and he's gonna assign them back to that wood line. Wow, 3 ranges here from Nico. He's really committing to this feudal war here. Yeah, Milmano has a lot of food and not a lot of anything else. I'd say, though, that at this point, since we're, you know, moving close to the 20-minute mark, that this is definitely well played on Milmano's part. He is much closer to getting to the castle age than Nico did. So while Milmano was really short on wood at first, he's, you know, rebalanced his eco a lot better now. And now I think he's going to be able to get to the castle age before Nico does. I don't know if Nico is recognizing this, which is why he's putting down a 3rd archer range, but either way, Nico's going to be stuck in the feudal age for longer than Milmano, but be able to outproduce him with 3 ranges as opposed to 2. See the scouts coming in here from Milmano, but running away. He knows he can't really do anything here. Nico is going to put down a mining camp, of course, on the other side of this gold mine, which will allow him to better saturate this gold mine. This way, his villagers, if they're mining from the other side of the gold mine, will not have to walk so far. You'll be surprised how much, I guess, how much more gold you get if your villagers have to walk a shorter distance. And fortunately, Nico gets housed here again. This is housed city, good lord. This game, both players getting housed non-stop, and Milmano is up to the castle age. Now Nico's trying to do stuff with his scouts, but I think this is all for naught here. Actually, he does manage to get one of Milmano's scouts for free and then pull away just in time. So well played in his part there. Gets out of there just barely with both of his scouts on, like, such low HP. Oh no, I don't know why he did that, but he decided to make a left turn here, and that ended up costing one of his scouts his life. I think players have been housed like 4 times this game. Pretty absurd. Actually, you know what? Even though, again, Milmano's score is ridiculously far behind, because his map exploration is, well, a little bit lacking at this point. That's why his score appears to be so far behind. And not only that, but he also clicked up to the castle age, so that took a lot of resources out of his stockpile. But, even though the score lead is in the hands of Nico, actually Milmano has a pretty sizable lead at this point. Milmano has both the upgrades on his army right now. He's got fletching and he has padded archer armor. Nico only has fletching, and actually Milmano's, since he threw in so many skirmishers in here, there is no way Nico's going to be able to win this fight. And not only that, he's up to the castle age right about now. I think Nico is going to be shocked to see this, but Milmano right now, he's recognizing that his map is really good, and he's exploiting it to the fullest by just walling off this side, making it really hard for Nico to get in there and do any damage. Ooh, we'll see, we'll see. I think it's really, really risky of Nico to push out here. I mean, what his thought process probably is, and again, I'm just guessing, is that, you know, Milmano just clicked up to the next stage, right? So he probably doesn't have an army. Nope! He actually has a bigger army than Nico, and not only that, a better army composition. He's got counters in there. Because of these skirmishers, Milmano will be able to make short work of Nico's army, and Nico has to fall back. We got Bodcanero and Crossbowmen coming out from Milmano here, and he has a huge, huge military lead. There's no way Nico can take this fight. What he needs right now is he needs to get to the Castle Age, basically, and just try and plump out a mangonel. Thankfully, though, he is clicking up to the next stage right now, and, well, he should be able to get a siege workshop out. Really good decision on his part to go wall this area off, but I think he is going to lose a Vil here. Good quick wall here from Nico, but might be too little too late. Milmano did notice it a little bit late, and I guess this house will go up, but one villager down, maybe two. Ooh, good shot there. And Milmano is going to get 2 villagers for free, and as soon as this house goes down, Nico is in deep, deep shit. He's going to need a siege workshop stat, as well as a mangonel if he wants to be able to equalize this. Alright, so Nico does have what it appears to be more Crossbowmen now. He's getting the Crossbowmen upgrade as well as Bodcanero, so he should be on mostly even footing, except Milmano here has the level 2 defense upgrade. He's got the I forget what that one's called. It's like Ring Archer Armor? I think it's Ring Archer Armor, maybe something like that. Or no, Leather Archer Armor. Either way, he's got the level 2 defense upgrade right now, and that means that actually his army is stronger, and he still has those skirmishers in there, which give him the edge. Nico might have more Crossbowmen, but that's going to change as soon as the fighting starts. Both players, you know, competing here for the elevation advantage. Nico has the elevation advantage here right now, and we see some pretty intense Crossbowmen micro, but this definitely favors Milmano, although Nico is on a higher elevation than most of Milmano's troops, and Nico is actually winning this fight, and Milmano must retreat, so very well played from Nico's part. Dun dun dun! Skirmishers, man, doing work. Alright, I really like this decision from Nico to put down a siege workshop here. Very, very well done in his part here. He'll be able to get out a mangonel, and as I've said before, mangonels are the great equalizer guys against those low HP ranged units, especially really slow ones like Crossbowmen. One good mangonel shot can wipe out almost all of Milmano's army, so it'll really start boiling down to who has the better micro here, and I'm really surprised that Nico managed to win that fight, but the superior micro, he positioned his troops on the hill. He had an elevation advantage over Milmano. This is a slightly lower hill than this one, and that really won him the fight, is Milmano stayed too long. Nico was focus firing down the right guys, doing some sidestepping, and that actually won him the fight. He's a small advantage right here, and really Milmano shouldn't have been able to lose that fight when you consider that he has skirmishers, and he also has a tech advantage. He's got the level 2 defense upgrade. Yes, because the air is thinner, yeah. Therefore, the arrows aren't affected by friction. Exactly. Basically, units on a higher elevation deal more damage and take less, so it's very important in these neck-and-neck fights. Nico is walling up, though. Not a bad decision at all. It'll make it a little bit harder for Milmano to get in. I mean, if Milmano really wants to get in Nico's base, he can always focus fire the palisades, but the point of the walls is not necessarily to stop your opponent, but more to give you warning as your opponent is trying to come into your economy. Milmano also putting down a siege workshop here. I like this choice again, trying to get the mangonels out. And, well, Nico is camping this hill. He's patrolling left and right here to make sure that Milmano cannot possibly try and push out and take control of this hill. Milmano is moving a little bit to the left. Makes me wonder if he's got any plans to go try and harass this wood line again. If that happens, though, I think that Nico will move out and he'll try and get in Milmano's wood line as well. So we'll see if both players try to exchange some economy damage. Alright, so we got the level 2 defense upgrade from Nico out here, so right now, game is really, really even. Nico did get the mangonel out first before Milmano, and ooh, we'll see if Nico can get this mangonel shot here, as Milmano's army is really out of position in this spot. And wow, Nico is on this hill here, and I don't know what Milmano is doing. He's just gonna walk his entire army in here. He just walked his entire army into Nico. Nico pulled back onto this hill. Really well done in his part. Uh-oh. Now Nico is the one caught out of position, whereas Milmano is going to get that mangonel right there for free. So, well done on both players' parts. Milmano got baited into that fight here, whereas Nico pulled back. He was on the hill. He had the mangonel. He had even upgrades, so he managed to kill a bunch of crossmen. And what we saw right there is we saw basically Milmano traded like 6 or 7 crossbowmen in exchange for a mangonel. So it's a relatively even trade, and this game is really, really close, as we can see in the scores. Alright, welcome back, Verzn. Or Verzn. I am sure I'm butchering your name, man. I'm sorry about that. I do have a texture pack. You can find a link to that. It's in the video description of all my YouTube videos, or it's on the About section of my YouTube page. Maybe one of the mods can link it for you, but it's Manu's HD texture pack, version 3. Yep, it's a really good texture pack. Recommend it. Alright, so both players here just playing a little bit defensively, turtling up here. I don't know why Milmano is actually pulling his army inside here. I think that's really risky, because right now he's conceding a bunch of map control. I know he doesn't want to get caught by enemy mangonels, but his, because he has his army so far back here, I think what he's thinking is that, like, Nico might try to swoop around this side, but he wants to protect this gold mine as it comes up, but, I don't know. I mean, now if Nico wants to come in and harass this wood line, it's going to take a long time for Milmano to reinforce that. His army is not necessarily in position, and these 3 crossmen right here are going to die for free. Yeah. Okay, yeah, he's gonna lose these 3 crossbowmen, and, well, like I said, that stuff really does matter, that, although Nico is slightly behind in the score lead right now. Milmano has 3 mangonels, Nico has 2. I'm gonna say that's because there are 3 town centers here for Milmano, and, but there's 3 town centers from him. Okay, there's only 2 from Nico. He should really start looking into putting down a 3rd one. Milmano's had a 3rd one for quite some time, as we can tell by the amount of farms he's put down, and if we compare the populations, actually, Milmano has a solid 30 pop lead. Good lord. That is really significant. Wow. Okay, yeah, Nico really has to watch out, because he's really fallen behind here in terms of his economy, and he's either got to start doing some damage to Milmano, or this game could spiral out of his grasp really quickly. This is a really good game, though. Very, very close. We'll see who comes out on top. Oh yeah, Nico also did put down his university. I don't even believe that Milmano has one. Milmano might. Milmano does not have one, okay. The reason that Nico put down that university there is he wanted to get his ballistics upgrade for his crossmen. This has also been giving him the edge against Milmano, is that ballistics means that your ranged units are more accurate against moving targets, and in this case, this means that the crossmen will be able to take out Milmano as he attempts to juke the arrows left and right. He will not be able to do that. Yeah, the 30 pop lead is pretty significant. Alright, it is evening out a little bit, though, as Nico is working on his economy, and yeah, he's putting down his 3rd TC right now. So, Milmano does have an eco lead, and that's slowly pushing him ahead, but really, it's going to boil down again to the micro. Uh-oh, we see Nico moving in here. Milmano's got his mangonels in a decent position here on the hill, but Nico gets to do a teeny bit of free damage. Milmano does juke that, and Nico does not walk into these mangonels, so both players here demonstrating some very good micro and keeping an eye on their troops. Uh-oh, Nico's moving this mangonel in. Will he be able to get a mangonel for free, or will he just lose one? Okay, that was, oh my goodness, a really good mangonel shot from Nico here, and he's actually going to get 2 mangonels for the price of 1. And this mangonel here is walking up from Milmano, but it doesn't really get to do anything. It gets to do a teeny bit of damage to Nico's guys, but uh-oh, Milmano's own crossmen are going to block his mangonel. They're going to body block it, and Nico is going to get a really good mangonel shot here. And, well, as we saw right there, even though Milmano had like a 30 pop lead for a while, and he was on 3 TCs, whereas Nico was only on 2 for so long, is that basically just equalized it. Losing all of those mangonels is so much resources, and, well, this mangonel, oh my god, Milmano's keeping all of his guys clumped up, and he's gonna take a huge mangonel shot to the face. Milmano does have a secret weapon. He's acknowledged, though, he is at a military disadvantage now, so he's putting down more unit production facilities, because Nico's put down so many archer ranges, but Milmano's secret weapon here is he's clicked up to the Imperial Age. whereas Nico is not on his way there yet. See a great mangonel shot from both players, taking him out. I don't really talk about the Italians much, but they are primarily a naval and archer civilization, as we can see. Both players going for the crossbow. Look at the jukes here from Milmano. He's splitting to the left and right, and he's swinging side to side, but, you know, unfortunately for him, Nico comes prepared, and he saw in game 1 that actually perhaps Milmano should be more known for his micro than macro, even though some of the micro in this game has been a little suspect, but you know, Nico comes prepared after game 1 where Nico got out-microed super hard by Milmano. He has gone for the early ballistics and gets a lot of kills on Milmano for free here, and Milmano's really going to want to put down a university of his own if he wants to keep up in this game. He might have the eco lead here, but it's evening out. I mean, the population is like almost identical at this point, but we'll see if the Imperial Age will make a huge difference here. Oh, this mangonel in a decent position, but we'll see it. Will Nico notice in time? Uh-oh, he's targeting the Siege Workshop, and Milmano will get a mangonel for free, so well done on Milmano's part. The Italians also do their advancement times to the next age cost less, so the Imperial Age costs like 900 food instead of the usual, oh my god, really good mangonel shot, instead of the usual 1,000, so wow, okay, that mangonel is actually, wow, he actually gets basically almost 2 mangonels for free. Nico here is swinging into Milmano's economy, kills this palisade, and wow, he's going to get all of these villagers. Oh god. Alright, so goodbye. Milmano's economy lead. All these villagers are basically dead, and while Milmano did reinforce this with houses, he actually left this one area unenforced here. Perhaps he should have put another house right there, but either way, it's devastating. And oh my goodness, Milmano is a little distracted right now, and he's going to lose another mangonel here to Nico's mangonels. You know, Milmano was winning like a minute ago, but it just goes to show that it's these really tiny things that just add up over time, and a couple micro mistakes from Milmano as well as Nico just slipping into this economy. Really good decision making on Nico's part. You know, he sees the vulnerability in Milmano's base and takes full advantage of it. We'll see if Milmano can make a comeback at this point, because he is in the Imperial Age, and Nico is presumably, okay, he's actually almost there. Close game indeed, close game indeed. Both players playing very well, but Nico pulling ahead. Nico is now in the Imperial Age, and even though Milmano does have Arbalists, which means is, you know, they're much stronger than Crossbowmen with more attack, more HP, but Nico split his army in two. I like this as well. This means that he'll be able to really ensure that Milmano doesn't get to saturate the wood over there as well as the gold. And Nico is just outmaneuvering Milmano at this point. Milmano getting caught with his pants down, and Nico just swinging around the back, sniping these villagers left and right, and, you know, preparing to really put the pressure on. And now Milmano has all these idle villagers, and this match is slowly slipping away from his grasp. Again, just getting outmaneuvered right here. Milmano just losing so many villagers here, and the mangonels are swinging around the back, but, you know, this area is completely under Nico's control because of these arbalists that are left here. Not only that, but leaving these arbalists here is really smart, because he also blocks the production of Milmano's archer ranges. Any archers that come out of this archer range will just die. Milmano, though, is intelligently making the right play here, I think, and he's putting the mangonel over there to try and take out that army, but again, what I said about getting outmaneuvered is that Nico realizes that the mangonel has been pulled over here. Oh wait, he actually gets the mangonel. Alright, that's not good. And he's gonna pull his arbalists over here and kill all these gold miners, and this match is again shifting out of Milmano's reach. His ace in the hole, though, he does have a plan. Milmano's plan is he's gonna put down this castle right here, right now, and he's gonna try and protect the front of his base with this castle. The issue is here, though, is that he still has not dealt with Nico's main army, and Nico actually has chemistry, so he's got a slight tech advantage over Milmano, and again, Milmano's sending in his army, like, partially, he's not grouping them all up together, and that's allowing Nico to get a bunch of free kills before the fight even starts. And Milmano has just sustained so much eco damage, and he's not even going to get this castle up. He has nothing to protect, to protect those villagers that's building the castle here, and all these villagers are all going to go down. This castle's not going to go up, and I think with that, I think that is basically the end of this game. Milmano's trying so hard here to try and turn this game around against Nico, but Nico pulling out all the stops, making the huge game-changing plays. Milmano definitely had control of this match for almost the entire early game. He was playing super well. He had an extra town center up. His scout rush was much better than Nico's, and he sustained the lead. But as soon as Nico got a couple favorable engages on, like using the hills and the mangonels, definitely demonstrating Nico's very solid micro. Not only that, but he also made, the game-winning play here was when Nico decided to blow up this palisade wall and sneak into the back of Milmano's economy. He saw the vulnerability in Milmano's base, took advantage of it, and that is what won Nico the game. This was a really good series between both players. I think both Milmano and Nico played this series extremely well. We got to see an incredibly high level of play from both players, and it was a really good series of games here. Nico, though, eventually does claim the series for himself, as the series does end up going 2-1, with one game in favor of Nico, so Nico will advance to round 3. What a close series, though. Really well played from both players here. Even though, and Milmano also got to the Imperial Age first. You'd think that would have helped him a lot, but it really didn't. And also the early ballistics from Nico also made a huge difference there as well. So, GG well played. Really great series. I hope you all enjoyed this one as much as I did. I definitely got a kick out of this. Great series of matches. Let's jump into the achievements, shall we? I mean, I think that the military achievements basically sum up this game in a nutshell right here is, well, Nico just had so many more units killed to units lost. The largest army difference isn't that significant, but what matters here is that Nico was just more efficient with his army in the later stages of the game. Definitely the Mangonel Micro was strong with this one. Milmano had the advantage for almost the entire game, but when Nico just decided to swing in the back, that's what really won him the game there. We also see really the importance of ballistics here, as ballistics won Nico a lot of these battles versus Milmano and caught him off guard a little bit, but the economy advantage is definitely in the hands of him, and wow, actually Nico didn't gather any stone at all this game, so I guess that's why Milmano was able to get out more TCs and even that castle. If he got that castle out, the game might have been a little bit different, but Milmano still had to deal with the massive army of Nico's arbalists in his own base, and right, so this is what I'm talking about. Milmano had a huge economy lead. That was what the 30 pop lead was, essentially, earlier on this game, as it all comes from Milmano's extra town centers, and Nico really didn't have a late game plan, actually. He wasn't harvesting any stone at all, so he wasn't really able to put down more town centers than the ones he had, unless he planned to buy stone. He wasn't ever planning on putting down a castle or anything, so, I guess if Milmano had his base a little bit better defended, if he had his walls a little bit more reinforced and he had, I guess more mangonels in the right positions, then maybe he would have been able to turtle this one out and really press the eco advantage against Nico here. But Nico, recognizing that he had the military lead and that there were some holes in the defenses, and he manages to close that game out despite having, a 35 villager, disadvantage right there. It's 35 villagers, and that's 35 villagers considering how many villagers Milmano lost in the late game. He lost so many. He lost and he must have lost 30, 40 villagers at the end of that, but yet, still the villager high difference, wow, that's really massive, so I guess I'm surprised that Nico managed to pull that one out despite Milmano having such an edge throughout most of the game. But like I always say, it's the little things that just add up over time. And in this case, Nico really making the wise plays here. Pushing right through those defenses, and he manages to clinch the game and win the series. So, hope you all enjoyed this one as much as I did. What a great game this was. And what a great series. Game 1 was also absolutely fantastic. So, if you guys enjoyed watching this, please do leave me a like rating, as well as checking out the rest of the stuff on my YouTube page. I've got plenty of other Age of Empires 2 videos there, guys, as well as videos of other games. So if you like this one, you'll probably like those ones as well. So, thank you so much for the support as always. I really do appreciate, guys. I will be back in just a minute to go answer any last-minute questions and just interact with you guys a little bit. Personally, thank you all for stopping by, but I will return shortly. So yeah, thank you so much for the support, as always. Much appreciated. I'll be uploading these videos to YouTube over the next few days, so should be able to check those out. And of course, you can also find my live streaming schedule below the Twitch stream, in case you want to show up to any of those live streams. Thanks a ton, guys, for showing up today, and I'll be back in a few minutes to answer any questions. So, GG, well played. Milmano and Nico had really a great series going between them. Two very evenly matched players, demonstrating some great skill there. So, I look forward to casting many other matches in this tournament as well. So, yeah. Also, thank you for no spoilers. I'll see you all in just a minute. GG, guys. Thank you for watching.